Yeah. Yeah. Hey everybody, let me do some stuff on the back end. We are absolutely live. I told y'all next time we go live, I would do a live on camera. Do you hear nothing? Well, nobody should be hearing nothing right now because we ain't started. And I just had things on mute. So, all right. We're going to get started. Okay. I haven't been on camera in a minute, I feel like. All right, but anyway, let me play some music and then I'm going to come back on camera. I got to do some stuff in the background. So let's play some music really quickly and then I'm going to come right back. Bitch, let's talk about what's really. Then you got that thriller, but you out here with that sugar. Sweet nigga, you fluffy like a pillar. And now I ain't no killer, but I'm having you for dinner. I got time today. You need to watch the work that you say. You've been hanging every way. I'm picking up dust like every day. Because it's time to pay. Over there looking like young every day. Say you don't do what I swear. Cynthia and Lala, how you get paid? Why you wanna talk? You won't know what you talk about, nigga. What you talking about? Why you in the house? The couch you talk about, nigga. Why you wanna shout from you out? You will rock, cops get up. Pick all in your mouth. Good round was it? I it, yeah. Okay, so that's all I needed. I only needed that much time, but I didn't want y'all to just be sitting here in silence and not really like kind of wondering what's going on. But anyway, so I wanted to, hold on. Wait, what's going on? Am I still here? Are you guys able to see me? Am I still here? Because I think YouTube tripping a little bit. Okay, I see myself still here, so I don't know why this is being the way that it's being. Hold on, let me do this again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, YouTube was over here tripping for a minute. Sorry, y'all. I thought that it kicked me off the stream, but it looks like it didn't. So here we go. Let me get this on here too. Okay. All right, so I wanted to come on here and I wanted to do this stream and this call in because y'all know I've been in my content and we've kind of been talking a lot about these struggle passport bandits. The fact that they just now, it took them like about 6 years to get a little raggedy passport. Then they booked a flight on Spirit Airlines and now here they are bragging because they can go to a third world country like Dominican Republic or Thailand or whatever. And they can benefit from economically disenfranchised women. Okay, let's get the struggle bandits out of here. Yeah, we're just going to get you up out of here. A lot of these little bandits can't find their way out. So if y'all can just show them the door, that would be great.
I don't have time to deal with bandits right now. You would think bandits get drilled enough because they're whining all over YouTube. So you would think these bandits would get enough, but they don't, because they keep coming into my chat box. They keep making their way over here, and it's like no one really wants you here. I'm not even trying to drill you like that, but you acting like you want to just get drilled all up and down these YouTube streets. And that could happen. It can happen. It can happen. But it's just about, am I going to put the energy into it right now? Probably not. So I have the live stream to do. And then I have a whole bunch of stuff to organize still in my house, because I told you guys that I had stuff that I needed to get situated. I got it situated enough to where I can do this live stream on camera, but I still got a whole bunch of stuff to do. And I'm trying to do it in between doing the content and doing the live stream. So I only have a certain amount of time that I scheduled out for today. Let me tell y'all, my day started, I had to go get in that gym and do some workouts. I tell y'all, because I really had to, and it makes me feel better. I think I'm going to try to implement my workouts in the morning now. I woke up, did some stuff, and then at around about 9 o'clock, I went to the gym. And did a workout before I came in here, and it really made me feel better. So I'm thinking about kind of implementing that into a morning routine. But anyway, I wanted to come on here because I hear a lot of people talking about these passport bandits, and I feel like this is a discussion that really needs to be had. I feel like this is a discussion that not many people are really having. Some people may mention it in passing, but I really don't feel like we're having much of a discussion about this, especially the way that we should be having a discussion. And when I say I want to have a discussion, I want to know what happened to Becky. I do. I want to know what happened to Becky. I want to know what happened to Becky being the preference and us basically needing to get, really, Becky was kind of like the side chick default, because they won't give me what I want. I need to come to you to try to make them jealous of you. Really, you ain't got nothing for them to be jealous about, but I'm going to try to weaponize my access to you so that I can control their behavior. This is why whenever you would hear these bandits talk so much about Becky and them, you would hear them talk about Becky. Not really, you would just hear them talk about Black women. They would mention Becky. They would say, oh, the reason why I like Becky, she had Black women, Black women, Black women, Black women, Black women, Black women. Oh, she might suck dick quicker, Black women, Black women, Black women. Oh, she won't hold me to any expectations, Black women, Black women, Black women. She's easier, she's a doormat. She has no standards, boundaries, or expectations. So if all of their reasoning is you, then they really want you. The obsession is with you. And I want Black women to understand what this is. I want you to understand what you're looking at. I want you to understand the level of manipulation. I want you to understand the pattern. And I feel like a lot of Black women do not really understand the pattern. And and the reason I say that is because a lot of them are responding to this whole passport bandit movement in a manner in which it leads me to believe that you can't see they just did the same thing with Becky and them. They literally did. They just got done doing the same thing with Becky and them. And they would use little green Martians or chihuahuas or whatever they can to control your behavior, because at the end of the day, they need you. You don't need them. They're simply going into this dusty bandit way of trying to manipulate and control you. And the way that they do that is by weaponizing access to other groups, to women. But because we have been able to see their dealings with Becky and them, now all of a sudden we're not seeing those videos about why I like Becky. We're not seeing videos about why Black men choose Becky and them over Black women. We're not seeing those videos a lot. We're not seeing those videos where we used to see the bandits running around and putting a microphone in front of women of no color's face and asking, do they prefer them to men of no color? We've been seeing less and less of that. And I know we have, because I just scoured YouTube. Because I was looking to show you guys some of those videos that I actually did commentary on back in the day. And I used to do commentary on tons of videos where there would be bandits sitting in videos with a woman of no color while she's stroking the lice in her hair, talking about how much better she is for the Black man. There were whole Ricky Lake shows. Actually, I want to show you one of the Ricky Lake shows. I actually did find one of the shows that was on there, but virtually you really can't find too many of those videos now on YouTube. What you can find though on YouTube is a bunch of old reaction videos. And I want to show y'all, let y'all hear this video really quickly. This is one from Ricky Lake, and I would show it to you, but I don't want to deal with the copyright of it. So I'm just going to play the audio so you can hear what I'm talking about. And we know how long ago Ricky Lake had a show. Ricky Lake just don't have no show out here no more. So not only were they doing it on Ricky Lake, they were doing it on Sally Jesse Raphael. They were doing it on Queen Latifah when she had a talk show. I don't know if a lot of people know that Queen Latifah actually had a talk show too. So anywhere they can do it. When Tyra Banks had her talk show, they were doing it on there, talking about big purses and Black women not cooperating and having all this attitude. And so ultimately, they're doing the same thing. But I fear that Black women are really not paying attention to it the way that they should. You should not be intimidated by, you shouldn't even care about them getting a raggedy passport and going wherever the hell they want to go. Like I said, get lost in the Bermuda Triangle or the mystery spot for all I care. Just get your ass on. That's really all I care about. I wish they would go already. They've been saying they were going to go since I came to YouTube, and they still here for some reason, in our face with dust encrusted in their eyes. I don't know why. But anyway.
Yes, in the year 2001, should we be able to look for love in whatever shape or color we find it? Well, our next guest, Naya, says technically yes.
Let me fast forward to when her bandit of a brother come out.
And that we can't hold a conversation.
Yeah, let me let y'all hear this. And her bandit brother about to come out, if y'all can hear it.
You know what? We're now, so obviously they're educated in some form. The reason that they're there. So, I mean, I don't know where he's getting that idea from. All right, well, let's hear from him, shall we? Let's meet your brother. Will, come on out.
No, I never said that. I said Black women ignore me when I try and talk to them.
And what's the problem with Black women then?
There's no problem with Black women. I mean, I think they're very beautiful. I think they're very intelligent. But the fact of the matter is that, I mean, my sister, she's been trying to like introduce me to Black women down there, but I mean, I just can't find any interest in them. You know what I'm saying?
Black women are strong, positive, and assertive.
Black women are rude. Black women don't want me. Black women are, you guys said you can't hear it? Oh, wow. That's interesting if you can't hear it. Let me see something. Yeah, this is why I'm thinking that let me see something really quickly. Yeah, no, I don't know why you can't hear it. It is a little low and the quality is not very good. Yeah, it is a little low and the quality is not very good, but it's a very old video. Here, let me just share the screen and show you what video I'm talking about, how they've been doing this since the beginning of time. Basically, this is the episode of Ricky Lake. This Black woman took her sister here. She took her brother on this show because her brother has decided that he just, and really they don't have to give an explanation for this, but they do because they're the only bandits on the planet who are uplifting other women over their own. But this is the show I was trying to show you guys. It says Date Your Own Race. This was an episode of Ricky Lake where she has her bandit of a brother on here and he's swearing off all Black women. Now, he actually was up in Pullman, Washington, where Washington State University is. So he also used the lame excuse that proximity, because he's around so many women of no color, then that's why he dates them, which translates to if they were around only men, they would be sucking dick. And we know that because you can go look at prisons and it confirms that they actually would be. If they're only around men, they're going to suck dick. So it just is what it is. That's basically what they're saying. Proximity, whatever I'm closest to, that's going to dictate who I choose to be with or who I'm with. So when they go to prison, they're around all men, and that's why, you know, a lot of them start popping pussy and sucking dick. So they're telling the truth at the end of the day. One aspect of that is the truth. That's all they're around. And you see the same dynamic in prison when they go to prison too, and then they complain about the dynamic in prison, but y'all are causing it though. I wonder if these bandits weren't snatching booty in prison, would they have these issues? But that's a different, we're not going to get into that. I feel like that's a completely different discussion here. But I did find that very interesting that they will use the proximity argument and say, well, that's the only thing around. So that is the only one. That's the only person I could get with. And then I gave it some great thought and I said, so then if they were only around a bunch of men, then that would dictate their sexuality too. And then I thought about prison and I said, oh yeah, because a lot of them, and you will notice a lot of them will come out and then they'll say they don't like men. They only temporarily was sucking dick because it was the only thing around. But anyway, we already know that's what they say. Bottom line is these bandits been weaponizing access to other groups of women for a very long time. And they've been doing this as a means of controlling your behavior. And I want Black women to stop falling prey to this level of manipulation and start asking questions. Now we don't really see them uplifting women of no color as much. Now, all of a sudden, women of no color here in this country have gotten lumped into the modern women category when they were more modern of women before anybody. They were modern women when y'all was running to the courts to get access to them, though. So you have a history of going to the courts to get access to these women, only to then turn around and exchange them in for a passport. I want to know what happened to women, the women of no color. There is a lot of bandits in here. There is a whole lot of bandits. I'm going to be dropping the link because I want people to come up, and I'm only going to let one person up at a time. I do control. You have to wait backstage. That's what you're going to do. You're going to wait backstage until I bring you on. And when you come on, I want you to stick to the topic and tell me what happened to women of no color. What happened to them being the preference? Why are they no longer the preference? I want to know all of these things. So if you guys have an answer, and men and women alike are welcome to come up here. Come up here if you can legitimately tell me what happened to these women. Because I really find it odd that just a few years ago, and even when TikTok started becoming popular, we saw an influx of videos of why I like women of no color. This is why I like women of no color. Women, Becky. We got to go Becky with the good hair. Okay, cool. You done Becky'd us out. Becky is now on there saying she got the same Black man, and y'all are talking about modern women and your passports. So I want to know what happened to women of no color. Are they still the preference? If they are, why do you need to go to a third world country to get a woman when I thought Becky was submissive and cooperative and feminine, fit and friendly? Somebody just sent me a video where some bandits were talking about women of no color being in the gym. I was just in the gym and I ain't seen no women of color in there. But anyway, I'm sidebar, y'all. I really think that a lot of Black people are relatively segregated from people of no color. So when you live in a state that's predominantly people of no color, you tend to realize how much these bandits are lying. The reality of it is, anyway, I'm not even going to get into that because Black men need to be in somebody's gym themselves, like working on that pregnant belly and you can't even carry kids. But I'm going to drop the link and I want people to come up because I want y'all to give me your input, even the males, one at a time. You need to get straight to the point. You cannot filibuster. I don't need your whole life as a background story. I just need you to come up and talk to me and tell me what happened to Becky. Is she still the preference? If not, why isn't she? And if so, then why do you need to take your raggedy passport on Spirit Airlines and go to a third world country to find something submissive, feminine, fit, and friendly when you said Becky filled that? You said Becky filled all of that, and you said she got real hair too. So I want to know what happened. Let me get to drop this link down here so somebody can come up here and tell me what happened, because I really want to know. And the thing of it is, though, it is discussions like these. Here is the link. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin it to the top. Like I said, I have it on here where you will have to wait in the background. So the bottom line is, I will pick people up one by one. If you waste time, I'm just going to boot you off. You will not be on here wasting my time. The link is for people who actually have something to say and who really want to join the discussion. Okay, so let's see what you got going on. Because I want to get to the bottom of this. Hi, can you mute your background noise or whatever that is?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I apologize. The reason why I think a lot, because I have friends that have done that, like went to other countries and, sleep with other women and stuff like that. And I think the reason being is I feel like a lot of these guys are disease infected. So I feel like now that we have TikTok and we have people like you that's, enlightening us as women to their game, I feel like they can't run these game on these white women no more, because quiet as it kept, I think these women are hearing us. They watch your show. They might not say anything and they're in the background, but they're listening to these stuff and they're seeing, how they're being portrayed and like what the guys are doing to them. And they get to go to other countries and, these women, they don't know anything that's going on. They don't know the pathology, as you stated. So it's easy for them to influence. And a lot of them, like just from seeing like the guys that, around me, because I work at I'm a supervisor at a call center, and I'm a engineer supervisor, and I deal with nothing but men. I'm like the only women in my department. And these men, I hear them talking and I see what they do. So they go to these countries, and majority of them are just dealing with like minors. You know what I mean? They're dealing with minors. They're not even dealing with women. So I know that I feel like they can't do that here. So that's why they're going out there to do that.
So you think it's an issue of them having exhausted all of their options in women here? Because if that's really the case, because there are hundreds of millions of women in this country, if they've exhausted all of their options in this country, that right there, just give them the stamp of patheticness at this point. Yeah. You would just give them that stamp if they've exhausted all their options here. But what I think it is more so than these women, I think because women have more options, they're losing leverage. They're becoming less desirable because the only thing they have to offer is dick and dust. Like really and truly, even like look at Erica Mena, for example. And that's why I say even the rich, wealthy, popular ones, and Safari ain't the richest man, but he do got a little money. He was allegedly he was producing some and writing for Nicki Minaj. So you're not going to come out of that position to be broke. Safari got a little bit of money. Look at Erica Mena before and after she dealt with Safari.
Right, exactly. And I know like the Barb's probably gonna hate me for saying that, but I mean, look at how the standard of Nicki, but look, she was with Safari for 10 years and we could tell Safari was a dusty, you know what I mean? So she was taking care of them. And I just feel like that's her pattern, you know what I mean? Nobody talk about it, but I do feel like Nicki is she is a mammy to these men, you know what I mean? She enabled them because she went from Safari to the man that she is right now. So, and we have a lot of women in our community, no matter how much money they make in power and stuff like that, they love taking care of that. I have a friend right now that, she's with this guy and just had a kid for him, but he never, like at the beginning of her pregnancy, he was gone for 3 months and then come back And then now she's like, doing even voodoo and stuff like that for him because she I want my family. I raised in a 2 household family. It's like, what are you talking about? The guy clearly told you he don't want you, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on with us as Black women. I just don't get it. Like, I'm so confused. And I'm
Well, I know what's wrong with Black women. It's this Black male worshiping toxic conditioning that has been passed down and reinforced from generation to generation to generation. And you have a lot of Black women who are doing counter arguments, dedicating themselves to keeping Black women in that space. The reality of it is nobody should be training Black women to be in any condition for a group of men who have absolutely nothing to offer them. And I would argue anybody on that. They have nothing to offer anybody. They don't even have anything to offer themselves. This is the one group of men who are literally begging other men to provide for them. So at the end of the day, if they need the dependence of another male group, you might as well just cut out the middleman and go to the other male group. And really, there's no middleman, because they're not taking what men of no color give to them and then giving it to you. They're complaining that men of no color won't provide for them like they believe he provides for you. So this is a group of this is literally a group of men who have absolutely nothing to offer anybody. But I want to take the next caller though. And that's the problem. They know they have nothing to offer you, yet there's still women running around calling them kings and trying to be more feminine and submissive and learning how to be wives. First, you need to teach these bandits how to be husbands, providers, and protectors, and then they should get a wife. They don't deserve wives. They don't deserve submission. They don't deserve cooperativeness. They don't deserve anybody feminine, fit, and friendly. It just is what it is. They deserve the worst of the worst, the scraps. And that's why when they go in other people's community, that's what they do.
Exactly.
All right, but let me grab another caller out of the back.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Brittany? Oh, somebody's background was just doing too much. Yeah, but y'all, I don't think for 1 minute that, first of all, if to me, if you're even listening to anybody that's telling you anything other than raise your standards, expectations, and boundaries, that person is not trying to help you. It doesn't matter really. It really doesn't matter what race of man you choose to go to. You need to have standards, boundaries, and expectations. And I feel like Black women specifically have a propensity for worship. All right, I'm about to boot Brittany off because you haven't connected to the audio yet. So I'm going to get Brittany out of here. I don't have a lot of time. So if you come up here and your situation isn't ready, I'm just going to get rid of you. Like y'all got to be ready when you come up here. And that means you have to immediately connect to the audio. Jasira, is that your name? Okay, let me see if the next person wants to come up. This is going to go fast because at the end of the day, I don't have time, like at all. But I mostly want Black women to understand this pattern. And that's why I keep emphasizing that there's a pattern going on here. And the pattern that you're seeing emerging is using different demographics of women to try and control your behavior. They're telling you they're not going to these women because they have a genuine interest in them. They're telling you that they're going to these women because there's something that they want from you that you won't give them. They don't have anything to give you in return, but they still want something from you. So because you will not give them whatever they think that they're entitled to, could you mute your end for a minute? Because you won't give them whatever they think they're entitled to, they're going to go to another group of women in hopes that that will intimidate you and manipulate you into giving them whatever they feel like they want. Now, they said be submissive, but they have nothing for you to submit to. They're talking about cooperate with them and let them lead, but lead you where? We see where they've led themselves. So at the end of the day, the pattern here is use whatever I can in order to manipulate Black women's behavior so that I can get them to acquiesce to my dust. They were also using the welfare system. Remember how they would say, oh, winter is coming. When they take food stamps out the way, then Black women are going to have to submit to us. So they will use whatever they can. If they can't use welfare and the food stamp, then they'll use different groups of women. It just is what it is. Clearly, Becky didn't work. Clearly, Becky did not work in order to get them whatever they wanted to get out of you. So now they're moving on to foreign women. And that's because Becky done got the same Black men. Monique, you can go ahead and take yourself off mute and chime in if you want to.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
Can we do something about that background noise, please?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of this has to do with self-hate on the men's, coming from the perspective that they seem to be coming from. They seem to hate themselves, if you ask me. I agree with you that about birthing these, continually birthing people who hate you and they look like you. I was watching Tisha Tales, and she was talking about the Khloe Kardashian, who has money. This is just coming from another angle of it. She has money, and she's being treated. She has the same Black man too.
You're right, with Tristan Thompson.
Yes. Okay, because I know you talk about the dust bunnies a lot, but we have another angle here coming from the Khloe Kardashian situation. In my opinion, she's got the same Black man. He has money. He's left her with children. He's not doing anything for her. He's bouncing around, pollinating everything with a vagina, and she continues to worship him.
Right,
and,
but why? But the question is, because I don't mean to like cut you off or seem rude, but the question is, what happened to the promotion of women of no color as the preference for them and the woman that they're going to go to? Why now are they talking about, why do they need to take their passports and go out of the country when they were just telling us that women of no color was going to give them everything that they're now saying they have to go to these third world countries?
Right. I think it's because the preferences have wised up a bit, and it's just too much. I mean, they couldn't deal with people that look like them, that gave birth to them, like you said, and then they go over to the promised land and it's not panning out either. So I think that's what's going on. They've wised up, and the dust bunnies have read the room. So it's on to the next group, like you say, the next group of women. And then it'll be another group and another group. Because it's not about the group, it's about you, dummy.
I think it's difficult to sell Black women on a group of women that you've increased their rate of single motherhood in. And the thing of it is they could lie, but we could just go to TikTok and see their offspring and their preferences saying, well, hey, he left me a single mother too. I got to get rid of him and his trash bags. Then you got the kids on there talking about how they moms was treating them. Like the chick that I just did a video on yesterday, her saying that she's known these mothers to cut their daughter's hair out, just do all of this tragic stuff.
Absolutely. I saw that very, it's really sad. And they were saying how she wasn't addressing her father, I mean, she was, this young lady was talking about how her mother treated her so badly, her white mother, and kind of let the father off the hook. Yeah. And he's just as responsible because.
Her dad was definitely a Black man.
He didn't seem to care about or think long enough about, okay, you have your preference, but what type of preference do you have here? Is this somebody that cares a lick about you? Or are you just, I don't even understand that.
Yeah, her dad was the very man that she was talking about. I think that because she's only had her dad to cling to, and her dad is what's giving her her identity. Because I looked at her TikTok page, she identified as a Black woman. She said that's what she's always identified as. So she's identifying more with her father. And I think that because he was the only one there, she can't come to terms with the fact that your father is literally the very man that you're talking about. He married the same type of problematic woman, because if he didn't, you wouldn't even be on here talking about this. It's too close of a situation for her.
I think it would be traumatic for her, because if the mother's doing all of this hate, and then she has to look at the tough reality that her father's kind of, he's implicated there,
No, he's the cause. He's not even just implicated. He is actually the cause, because he is the one who decided chose her mother. He chose her mother, and he had to have known that her mother had that mentality, not having any friends that are outside of her racial demographic. So basically,
he should have got clues along the way. There had to be some clue somewhere, something saying red light, red light. This guy, this woman is not, there's something not right here. This woman is not feeling my Blackness. And then I'm going to go and have kids with her.
Right, exactly. But let me grab the next person. There's quite a few people in the waiting room waiting to come up here.
Okay.
I want to try to get them, because I'm trying to see if this works better than actually just doing call-ins. And I think if I can keep it organized.
It's good on my end.
Yeah.
Knock me out. I just wanted to say, hey, I love your show, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I definitely will. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
I think Josie Ann is back. Josie Ann, I think you were here a little earlier. Josie Ann? Josie Ann? I think Josie Ann is having a little bit of an issue connecting to the audio. Josie Ann. Can you hear Josie Ann say something, or I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to remove you again in a minute. Josie Ann? Okay, we're gonna put you back in the waiting room, and you can get your stuff together, and then we'll bring you back on, because this is the second time. Yeah, but they'll use anything to manipulate you. And we see that they've been literally saying the same thing. Even
Hello?
Yes, Jay.
Jay, hi. Let me I'm sorry, let me turn off YouTube in the back.
Oh, I don't even hear it. Your background is quiet.
Okay. So Okay, so what I think is going on is the fact that once they got to them, right, they didn't like that they were I felt like they replicate us, and they were trying to replicate us, and they didn't like that because it reminded them of themselves. Because usually when you see a lot of the white women that are with the Black men, they try to emulate us, and I feel like it reminds them of themselves, and that's why they're like, I don't know if I don't know if I'm liking this. So I feel like that's why they're going. And they're getting smarter as well. And they're seeing that they got the same one that we got. So I think that's the reason why you're not really seeing them talk about Becky's anymore.
Yeah, I think a whole lot of it has to do with it's not sellable anymore. It's just not. I think they already know when it comes to women of no color, the jig is up. There's already studies and data. Their kids are all over social media. They're telling the truth about getting the same black, it's just not sellable anymore. We see what the relationship dynamic is. So you can't go on a social media platform and tell black women, okay, this is the better option anymore. And now we're like, oh, is it? Well, the data says this, that, and the third, where your kids are all online saying that you don't like them. You haven't, your mom, your mom was getting a kink off and you were wallowing in self-hatred.
Yeah, I hope I explained that right, but it's almost like they're the women that they are trying to get were emulating, and it wasn't connecting. I think that not only were they they weren't as controllable as what they thought. I guess that was the point that I was trying to make. They're not someone that they can control, because they look at us, they have us as friends, some of us anyway, and they're like, okay, well, my black friend's not going for this. They come to us a lot of the time to try to get advice. And once, because I have a couple of friends that have done that, it's like, girl, I'm not about to keep giving you this advice. I already told you what it was. And so I think they're not only are they getting smarter and they're taking this advice, they're like, okay, I'm about to start calling.
But I want to ask you something. So prior to social media, because I'm convinced that these men never really thought that women of no color were going to be submissive to them, nor that were they really looking for these women to be. Because women of no color have given black men no reason to think that she would submit to him in any way, shape, and form. And a woman who has spent her entire life having her existence of superiority over a group of men reinforced over and over and over is not going to go to that group of men and submit. They're just not going to, because of how the brain works. Even if they wanted to consciously, subconsciously, what they think about black men and what they've learned about black men in their mind, their subconscious mind would never allow her to actually submit to a man that she's been told and shown is lesser than her. So if anything, these women go to black men to exert dominance over them, because they know that this is a group of men who largely are easily to be controlled, especially by women of no color who is placed above them on the socio-racial hierarchy. I think that before social media, they were able to get away with this. They were able to say, well, we're going to go over here. They were able to say that she's more submissive, feminine, fit, and friendly, but then we start visibly seeing the relationship. Like, even when I came out with the Who They Really Shoes series, the reason I did that is because they were always talking about, oh, black women are overweight and we're getting these tans, we're getting these model type women. So that's why I start just taking random pictures of interracial couples that I saw to really show who black men were actually with. And so I think now that we're able to see the outcome of their relationship, their children are literally speaking to us. This is not anything that you can sell anymore.
Yeah, because after at the start, when they were petitioning to be able to marry these women, right now it's been some generations, and now we see what the outcome is. People are seeing what the outcome of that union is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sam, for having me on.
Thank you as well for coming on. I'm going to grab the next person. Let me grab it. Oh, for the people who are asking about the lipstick shade, I typed it into the chat box. This is a retro shade from MAC. It's called Dance With Me. So that's the color that it is. Yeah, but this is not sellable anymore. And soon you're going to be like, you're already starting to see the reality of the passport bro interaction. You're seeing videos, because these bandits are dumb enough to put them up on the internet. You're seeing these videos with them on the rare occasion that they do actually bring a foreign woman here, which, understand, you're not going to see a lot of them bringing foreign women here. They can't afford it. Let me explain something to y'all. It is very expensive to bring a foreign person over here and marry them, male and female. So let's just get that straight. If they're telling you they're going to go out and get a foreign woman and bring her here, then they are in a certain income bracket. And we know this because you have to be in a certain income bracket. You can watch 90 Day Fiance to see that it is very expensive to bring a foreigner over to the US and marry them. So you ain't just taking a flight and bringing them back over here. No, that costs a lot of money. So you're not going to see a lot of that. But what you will see is these videos where you're seeing the outcome for them. You're seeing the way that these women overseas see them as suckers to lick. They're mushing them in the face, biting on them. They're getting robbed and toe tagged. So this ain't gonna go on for as long as this thing with Becky. This passport bandit, this movement will be much quicker than what they had with Becky. Hey, Ladybug.
Hey, Miss Cynthia G, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good. I hope my dogs don't bark.
Oh, it's okay.
I have an opinion on why things have changed. I think
Sure.
you and women like yourself have changed the narrative. And by social media being in effect, the other groups of women in our country have seen that. And I'm not saying it's not a big movement towards it, but you can actually see the shift on their mindset. And I think they understand what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been lied to as a group of women. I've seen all those shows. I'm an elder, so I've seen every talk show you're talking about, and the Black women that were on those talk shows. We're not talking down against Black men. They were mad because Black men were dating outside the race because of their treason.
Yeah, they were.
Every talk show. It was never a talk show on there on TV that was dogging out Black men. Never. Even when they got mad at Oprah, it wasn't because she did anything wrong. She just didn't like the music.
Then let me ask you a question. Do you remember when there was a time when social media first came around, when there was visibility of the interracial dating between Black men and their preferences, it started becoming more popularized when we start seeing wealthy celebrities and athletes all over television with these women of no color. And they used to sit up and say, well, the women of no color are taking all the good Black men. All of the good Black men are going to women of no color. And then remember, you stopped hearing it being referenced as they're taking the good Black men. You stopped hearing that. And it's because we slowly began to realize, no, these men are not good Black men. These are some of the worst of the worst. These are the men who have a certain pathology. So that narrative of they're taking the good Black man was then replaced with a negative stigma on Black men who date white women. And that's why they start going around saying, why are everybody mad when a Black man just wants to choose to love who he loves? Because we stopped saying they're taking all the good Black men. Now we're not even hearing them anymore say that they're going to these women of no color and she's the better option. Now it's the passport. Now there's a problem with these modern women. We got to go overseas, get your passport because the women here in this country are a problem. And nobody's asking, well, what happened to your preference? Your preference within this country. You went to the Supreme Court and fought to get access to your preference before you fought for any type of liberation for yourself. What happened to her?
You. You.
And see, I don't believe that I can take credit for that, but I do think you're right when you say, as content creators and exposing the truth and the Who They Really Choose series and, getting the same Black man and bringing light to that. I do think that has essentially helped.
Oh no, it truly has helped. Okay, I hate putting myself on Front Street like this, but I actually was married to a non-black man, and I felt guilty and this, that, and the third, and wanted to be. I felt treasonous. I felt I was doing something wrong. My marriage didn't last but a year, and I was like, I need to be with a black man. I need to be with a black man. Then I started listening to what you and other content creators, such as yourself, had to say, and I realized what I did was truly stupid. You know, women my age, I'm Generation X.
Mhm.
We don't know nothing about what you guys are talking about. We back in the day, we wouldn't even listen to you. You know,
I'm pretty sure I'm Gen X too, just probably on the younger side of it. But I think I'm Gen X too. I think I am.
I think you're a millennial, but
Oh yeah. Sorry, it is. I'm on the millennial. Sorry, I
you're a
am.
millennial.
Not Gen X, millennial. These categories are confusing sometimes, but yeah, it's a millennium.
And I followed you for a very long time, and you really shed some light on what was going on. And like I said, the narrative has changed. So black women are the women that always upheld black men's degeneracy no matter what. You don't want us, we still love you. They still on TikTok and all those other platforms talking about, we love you, black man. We love you, black man. But it's another side to that, because they see the other side of women saying, just like with Knowles, that Knowles woman, Beyonce's mama, how that thing
Yeah.
didn't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they see us rising up a little bit against them, which has never happened in history. And they see that. They see it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they definitely. I think social media had. I really, and I've said it in my content several times. If it weren't for social media, I think Black women would still be under this illusion. And I think that even with this new passport movement, and that's why I'm having this discussion, because really they've been talking about it's just now getting traction. The passport movement is just now getting traction, but it's been here. I remember them talking about it as early, for me, when I came here, probably as early as like 2018. That was 5 years ago. They were talking about getting their passports and going to different countries. It was they were making a bunch of videos going to Colombia. There was like this African dude who would go to Colombia and talk to the women there and see what they thought about Black men. So the passport bros, at least the Black male version of it, because again, they siphon off of what men of no color do. The Black male version of passport bandits, they've been saying this, at least from what I know, since 2018. It just now started getting traction. That's why I'm coming and saying, well, wait, I need Black women to stop and recognize what they're seeing. You're seeing the exact same thing that was said about Becky being said about these foreign women. And I need you to ask yourself, what was the outcome with Becky? Did she get a different Black man, or did she come on social media and tell you she got the same one?
exactly, she got the same one. And another thing that's hurting them in the United States is, just like you said, is the chickens have came home to roost. Their children are all over social media. So they're looking kind of bad right now. So now it's our fault again. And they got to go to another country. So now it's all Western women's fault, because Becky's involved with the, bashing of Black men right now. And I think that's a part of it too, with the children on TikTok. So the narrative has changed.
Yeah, the children are huge. You simply, like, what is going to be the response when your grown children, your grown biracial children, the ones that you said were getting the best of both worlds, the ones that you said were better and smarter and well-adjusted, and there is a group of biracials who are smarter and more well-adjusted, they're just Black women's. They're not Black men, though. They're not attached to Black men, because there's a study that came out too that said the type of biracial depends on the race of their mother. And in that study, it said typically and this is a general consensus. Obviously, they don't need to go around and survey and study every single biracial person. They don't. You can get a representative for the population size. And essentially, they concluded that biracials who have Black mothers and white fathers turn out way better in every way, shape, and form. Economically, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, in every way that they can. The biracials who have Black mothers and white fathers turn out better in comparison to the reverse. So what can Black men say then when your very children are saying their mothers got the same Black men and you weren't even there?
My theory on that is we all know how Black women, not all, but most, out of slavery, that's how the Black biracial children came about. And you can see the intelligence level of those biracial children compared to the males biracial children. And I think the reason, and you read an article way back in the day, but anyway, I think the reason why they allow access to the males to have the Black biracial children is to counteract the biracial children that was coming from white men and Black women.
You know what revelation I just came to when you said that? Guess who knew that every woman would get the same Black man? Guess who was the first to know that? Who do you think was the first to realize that every group of women get the same Black man?
I don't know.
Men of no color. Men of no color knew that every group of women get the same Black man, and that is why he allowed them access to women of no color. Because this was my theory. Let me frame it for you two, because we know how they act. My theory is that men of no color knew that every group of women get the same Black men. Now, you have a declining birth rate over here. You studied genetics.
Exactly.
You know about selective breeding because you are the single person on the planet who has been extremely successful in selective breeding. What would you do?
I'll let them do it.
Exactly. Knowing they're going to abandon the children, knowing they're going to move to a white neighborhood, knowing they're going to be raised by a single white mother and her grandparents, knowing they're going to take on white ideology and procreate and marry white and create white.
Sinji, my family lives in Seattle. Okay. I have two brothers. They dated. My oldest brother dated nothing but biracial women. My youngest brother never dated or procreated with a Black woman in his life. His children, let me just take it to his grandchild. Okay. You say 2 generations, right?
Yeah.
So my niece is biracial. She married a white man. Her daughter has red hair and red freckles with pale skin.
Yeah, that's how it is with my nephews. They have children with women of no color, and their children are blonde hair, blue eye, white.
There you go. So they knew what they was doing.
Mm-hmm. Let me grab the next person though, because we have a few people in the back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have we're waiting for Felicia to come on, but look, the bottom line is I don't want y'all to fall for this passport bandit okie doke the way many Black women fell for the women of no color okie doke. And look, the reason this okie doke with women of no color lasted for so long because it was so long before you were able to see the truth about it. Again, we didn't really start seeing the full truth about it until social media emerged. Even when we were seeing it on talk shows, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you see it on talk shows, but you don't hear the perspective of the women and you don't hear the perspective of their children now that their children has, become adults. My nephews who are biracial, they're adults now. They're adults. So the generation that you're seeing now is the generation of people that were younger, my age, biracials who were younger than me and my age and younger. Hi,
I'm
Felicia.
sorry. Hi, San. I just want to Thanks for having this call in. I actually discovered your channel maybe last year, November, and I binge watched the whole thing, right? Interesting points. Really like your content. But in my opinion, this whole passport bros thing is a huge grift. All right. These guys are going over there as traveling tricks, in my opinion. They're sex tourists. They're not really going over there with any real interest in having relationships with these women. The average guy that's going over there is only scraping up enough money to spend maybe a week at some rundown hotel in the middle of anywhere. And their goal is to sleep with, pay for sex with as many women as they can. That's the majority of these passport pookies, is that they're going overseas to have easy conquest. That's been the grift. That's really what this is. Now, as far as Becky is concerned in this country, yes, they did weaponize Becky, but all in all, it was still the same for the same reasons, because Becky was thought to give away her body more easily than Black women.
That was one of the reasons they were saying. But if you like, even on this Jenny Jones clip, he's saying like the same thing that they were saying. And if you go back into these old videos, even if you look at the one with James Earl Jones, where he's saying, and this was within the early 1960s, he's talking about, well, Black women got an attitude, they have chips on their shoulders, they're too identified with their Blackness. They've been saying the same thing. Yeah, they've been saying, it's easier to get their kinks off with her because she's easier in that regard. But they were using the feminine, fit, and friendly and submissive term too.
Absolutely, but that's a gaslighting, in my opinion, that's a gaslighting technique. Just like with these passport pookies, these traveling tricks, they're waving their passports around and half of them can't even get back. When they get over there, they're getting robbed, they're getting finessed. And the draw isn't wives that they're going to get. The draw is, hey, an easy lay. Hey guys, these girls are $30 and you can have fun all night.
But when you see Black women, how are Black women responding to it? Because if you have even a small amount of Black women, like there was a video that you guys had going around, and some people send it to me. I choose not to give this person my energy because I don't have time. And this is a male. I don't have time for like YouTube back and forth. Y'all know I don't do the back and forth thing. I just don't. But the reality is, if there's even one Black woman who gets into a video and expresses any kind of discontentment with Black men taking their passports, and we know there's more than one Black woman doing that. There's a sector of Black women in this YouTube space who will sit up and act like Black men withdrawing their presence from Black women is doing something. He can't. If 90% of the Black men disappeared, Black women wouldn't be disenfranchised in any way, shape, and form. There's nothing that you would be losing except for their physical presence. But when Black men have an example that they're able to use and say, look, these women are now having an issue because we're getting our passports and now they're going to start acting right, it puts a certain thought in Black women's mind. And that's why I'm going to keep reminding you, you're not losing anything. Most of them, just like you said, they can't even afford to be over there beyond a few days. It's very expensive to get a foreign wife. They don't have that money. They don't have the money. They don't have the credit. It's not that simple. The government looks into your entire existence in order for you to qualify to bring that person over here, because they don't want you bringing a person who's going to be dependent on the government.
Absolutely. And that is a part of the grift. Absolutely. That was the same grift that they used with Becky back in the 80s and the 70s. I was like your last caller. I'm Gen X as well. They weaponized these women, right? And then even before your series, who they really choose, some of us got a clue and we saw who they were really, quote, choosing to be with. You know, when you saw this 500-pound woman with a slender, I guess, looking kind of brother on the street, you would go, yeah, it's a finesse. He's just there because of her skin. He's there for her skin and nothing else, because she clearly isn't living up to any kind of standard of femininity or womanhood. And she's more than likely, and this is how we used to think, she's paying him. You know what I'm saying? To be in her presence. These are non-select Black men that are going overseas to trick off for a week. And by and large, the ones that were here screaming for Becky, they were also non-select with their non-select counterparts. It's a giant grift. And the whole thing is a gaslighting technique. It just really is. It's a gaslighting technique. And if more women would get off those damn videos, stop for a second and actually sit back and see, hey, are they actually bringing women back to marry them, or are they just spending 1 week out of the year tricking off in a foreign country?
Well, I think they don't know. I think your average Black woman does not know how much it takes and how much it costs to have a foreign life, because like the average, and why would she? Why would Black women be thinking about, because this is not generally how Black women think. Black women don't think about hopping on planes and getting passports so they can find foreign husbands, not by and large. This is something, if they did do it, they would be doing it in response to Black men. And I don't even think Black women should put that notion out there. I think you should just continue to elevate as a Black woman, continue to heal, get standards, boundaries, and expectation. And if Black men want to go, hold the door open for them.
Co-signed, absolutely. I say let them all go. They're ruining their reputation as we speak. Like you said, this passport bro thing will be shut down because they don't have enough sense to move in silence. White men have been doing this for decades and centuries, and by and large, in the 80s and early 90s, white men were going to foreign countries to get brides. They were getting the Russian mail order bride. That was a whole big thing.
The keyword bride.
Absolutely. They were getting brides.
They were actually marrying them.
They were actually marrying. And so these passport pookies, these traveling tricks, are taking some of that talking points, and they're applying it to themselves, and it does not imply what these guys are doing is totally different from what the 80s, the men of no color of the 80s and early 90s were actually doing, which was, going to these foreign countries, getting actual brides. These guys are going for a week in the DR, in the Philippines, in, Colombia, and they're tricking off for a week and getting stuck too. And it's hilarious. And I say, by all means, hold the door open. They're going to shut this down in those countries. They've already clamped down the claw in Brazil. There's an activist woman there who ran out one of a very prolific traveling trick, ran him out of Brazil. And so he's now in the Philippines.
Yeah, that Dusty Austin Holloman.
Yes, absolutely. They shut him down and ran him up out of there, and they have their eyes set on the rest in Brazil, and God bless them. Their reputation is going to follow them, but soon the grift will be quite obvious, and this will be shut down. But Black women really need to stop holding on to it.
And that's why I'm saying this passport bandit movement is not going to be as long as this movement where they had the ability to hold Becky over our heads, and it's for a multitude of reasons. But I want to grab this next person.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoy the content. I love the call-ins. You should do them more often. You're fabulous. Please, please, please keep up the work. You're enlightening a whole new group of women. We didn't have YouTube when I was coming up as a Gen Xer, and amazing content. Ladies, listen to this woman. She's onto something. Thank you again, Cynthia.
So much. I really appreciate it. So I just want to tell you guys something really quickly, because she said something that I wanted to elaborate. And thank you so much, Felicia, for coming up. Why do you guys think they're so loud and refuse to move in silence? The reason they're this loud, and I'm about to let let Daniel in. Daniel's coming in. The reason they're loud is they're loud because they want you to know. They want you to know about it. They're doing this for you, Black women. They're doing this because of you. This is their way of trying to, again, this is their backup plan way of trying to get you to acquiesce to their dust. They're loudly proclaiming it, putting out all of these YouTube and social media PSAs for you, Black women. That's why. They're doing it for you. They're doing it so you'll know they're going to another group of women. They're doing it so you'll react to it. They're doing it so you'll think you're missing out on it. But keep two things in mind. Number one, they can't do anything. The only thing they can withdraw from you is their physical presence. That's it. And you will never be disenfranchised by that because they don't provide anything to you. The only thing Black men are providing to you is their presence and the dust that come along with it. That's it. But they can't deprive you of anything at all. They can withdraw their presence from you or tell you that they're going to another group of women. But if you realize that you don't need them, one, and two, they said these same things about Becky, then they don't have any leverage. They think that their passport is a leverage, and it's not. We don't care if you go. We don't care if you go. I'm going to hold the door open. I don't know why it's taking you so many years to leave. You've been saying you were going to go. I know for a fact for the last 5 years. And now I know it don't take 5 years to move out of the country. It does not. I have relatives who have moved out of the country. It didn't take them 5 years. Why is it taking y'all so long to leave? I don't get it. Because you ain't brought no wives over here. You don't have the money to do that. So go pull your okie doke on somebody, sell your bullshit to somebody else at a brownie. We ain't buying it. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Hey,
You got 2 minutes on the clock.
oh, okay. What I think happened to Becky was, as the last caller mentioned, basically, like you said too, I think Black men were basically, in part at least, following behind men of no color. As she said, it's something they've been doing for centuries, and recently a certain portion of men of no color have been talking on the internet of going overseas and getting overseas brides. So I think Black men followed. But as you also mentioned, when Black men try to copy men of no color, it doesn't really work out the way, they get it to work out.
Right. It sure don't work out the right way.
Yeah,
So why do you think they think we're not going to pay attention to the fact that they were saying the exact? Well, first of all, do you agree that the things that they're saying about these foreign women is the same things that they were once saying about Becky?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's so funny because, as you just said in this meeting, women of no color are like the original modern women. So I don't know why Black men would think that they could go over there and get these traditional, these mythical traditional women. But yeah, it's the same thing, I think.
It's the fact that it took them, like, look how long it took them to find out that Becky been a modern woman. Like, because you didn't get this, they didn't get this modern woman thing from Black women, because Black women have always had to work and be independent and take on certain roles. We've always had to do that. So you didn't get the notion, they didn't get the notion of modern women from Black women. They got it from their preferences. And I'm saying they need to catch up quicker, because it shouldn't have taken you this long to realize your preference was a modern woman. But go ahead, I'm going to give you more time since I talked in between it. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to agree. Basically, did you ask why did I think that Black women wouldn't notice?
Yeah, why do you think that? Why do you think they're acting like they think Black women aren't going to notice?
Well, I guess it's not nice to say, but basically I think Black men don't notice, so they think other people won't notice. I think it's just as simple as that.
Yeah, I really think that specifically when it comes to Black women, I think Black men believe that Black women are so caught up in them that they can do anything, and it'll seem like a new movement, because I think that largely they don't really see Black women as having a high level of intellect. And I think I think that's why. And I think they see all these women talking about Black women's need to be feminine and go to wife school and do all these things. And largely a lot of Black women are saying they will do it. And I think that's why they think this is going to work. And it's because a lot of Black women, it is going to work. It will work with a lot of them.
Yeah, unfortunately. And it's interesting. I was watching a video from another content creator, and she was saying, talking about single mothers and being wives. And I just have to remember your videos because it's kind of interesting that, in the Black community, we think that the women being the leader is going to turn the men into leaders, but we don't want women to be leaders. Like, it's kind of weird because like I said, as I was listening, I'm like, well, if the woman changes herself first, wouldn't she be the leader? But, we say we don't want Black women to be leaders. So it's like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the input. I'm going to get the next person because I'm running low on time. So that's why I put it on the timer, because I'm running low on time. And the back room, the waiting room is like collecting a lot of people. We have like 2 people in there now.
It's all good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks so much for your input. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. Yeah, but every time we get off of a caller, I'm going to say this because repetition is how you learn. The only thing they can withdraw is their presence, and that doesn't take away anything from you. It takes nothing away from Black women. That's what I'm saying. If 90% of them disappeared, the only thing you will miss is their presence, but you will still have all of your needs met. You will still get jobs because these are not things that they are providing to you. Now, you may have less men to replicate your Black skin with, assuming you stay in just this country, but if Black men in this country were to disappear in an hour, it wouldn't affect anything that you got going on. It just wouldn't. The average Black woman would not be affected by the disappearance of 80 to 90% of Black men if that happened. In a hypothetical situation, you wouldn't be disimpressed. But for what? By what? What would you be missing? What would you miss? If 90% of them were to disappear, they wouldn't be taking anything with them but themselves. They don't provide anything, and need is based on provision. So if you can admit that these bandits don't provide anything to you except genetic material, then you can admit that there is no need for them. There's no other way that you can pitch it. Need is based on provision and dependence. You cannot establish somebody being dependent on you unless you provide something to them. And you have to be providing something to them that they cannot easily obtain or simply cannot obtain from another person. And since all of your necessities are being provided by another group of men, if they disappear, then they disappear. Oh, well. And whenever you get ready, you can create more of them if you wanted to, because these bandits are not creating like you are. Z33, whatever your name is. Hi.
Hey, Cynthia, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to call in and just give my input about the question or the discussion that you have going on. I think the last woman, she kind of took some of my points. I really think a lot of these Black men are going overseas or getting their passport because they're trying to emulate what the white man is doing. The white man puts his white women on the pedestal, and Black men will love the white woman. And, they see that a lot of white men are going overseas because they're tired of Western women. So they actually do the same. So I think it's just about them just wanting to be or do what the white man is actually doing because that's their role model. But I think as for Black women, and I know this is kind of going off subject, I just, and I think it's a good idea that you're bringing it to light, but I really don't think Black women, should care about it. I mean, it should be to a point now, because it's been going on for so long, that Black women should just move on and I think really stop discussing Black men. I know Black men are discussing them quite often.
Yeah, but, I don't think we should stop discussing them. And you know why we shouldn't stop discussing them? Because discussing them makes them uncomfortable. It would be foolish It would be foolish for Black women, as you have Black men doing everything they can to drag you in the mud, throw dirt on your name, dust you up, demean and degrade your character, and you just sit idly by and allow them to. Like, why will we stop talking about them when they're literally lying on us whenever they open their mouths? Like, it would be foolish to do that. If you care about your image, then you would obviously counter what they're saying.
Oh, so you think by countering what they're saying, it's going to make the Black woman image better? Or
Absolutely.
I disagree, but I mean, we can disagree.
Really? So when you see women of no color on TikTok parodying Black women's words, what do you think that is?
I just think that they're bringing to light what they're dealing with Black men, but
and they're co-signing everything that you've been saying you've dealing with Black men. If you were to stay silent and stop talking about Black men, how would you become vindicated then? How would you be vindicated by other groups of women validating what you're saying if you weren't saying it?
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree. I just think.
So what do you think we would stand to benefit by we stop talking about Black men? What happens?
I don't know. I think Black women should just see what's going on with the Black men, and a lot of these Black men are they're moving on. So I think, and even though they're still discussing Black women, they're a lot of them are trying to get the ones that are on these social media sites discussing Black women. They're making money off of it, of course. Making negative comments about Black women, but a lot of them I think are moving on, and I think Black women should just do the same thing too, move on, and instead of talking about the Black man and trying to counter what he's saying about the Black women, I think they should move on to another group of men and then show the Black men that they're doing better without them.
So how do you get Black women to move on to other groups of men unless you change their perspective of Black men? And how are you going to change their perspective of Black men by not talking about Black men? There's a reason that Black women are the least likely to date out, and it's not because other groups of men don't desire Black women. So how do you break Black women's loyalty to Black men without talking about Black men?
I'm looking at your chat. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. That's fine. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I think Black women should automatically just walk away based on how they're seeing the Black man behave. So
but they don't see how he behaves though. If you were to go out on the street and talk to Black women about how Black men behave, they're going to paint a very different portrait than how we see it. And if that weren't the case, they wouldn't be calling the news propaganda. They wouldn't say that they're spreading lies about Black men. They wouldn't say they're villainizing Black men in the news. So how do we break Black women's loyalty and get her to see another group of men as an option without ever talking about Black men? How do we do it?
I don't know if you're going to break Black women's loyalty by discussing Black men. I think the loyalty would be broken when they start to actually see. It should be broken when they see what's going on with the Black man. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be pointed out.
They've been living it since they walked off the plantation. They've been living it. When they were in the early 1900s as married single mothers, where their husband went off and created another family right up the street by another bandit, despite being married to her, they saw it then. They've been seeing it.
Believe it or not, they saw it and they moved on. A lot of Black women.
No, they didn't. Black women date out less than any other group of women. Black women are the least likely to date out. No, they don't. They don't date out. I don't understand where you're getting this notion from that Black women can see what Black men are doing. Then why haven't they left yet then? Why haven't the majority of Black women left and went to other groups of men if they can already see what Black men's behavior is? Because it's been plastered all over the news since the news was the thing. So why isn't most Black women dating out then?
I don't think most Black men are dating out. I'm just saying there are a lot of Black women.
Right, but you can't compare it to most Black men, because the reality of it is Black women provide everything to Black men. Black men provide nothing to Black women. So there will be more incentive for Black men to not date out, even though they date out more than Black women. There's more incentive for them not to.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand your rationale.
No, you said here's my rationale. You said Black women can just see Black men's behavior and then move on to another group of men. I'm asking you, why haven't they done that yet then?
Maybe I'm just not seeing what you're saying, or I see, and maybe I'm just not going by statistics.
Black women have the lowest rate.
I know.
Black women have the lowest rate of dating and marrying out. They have the lowest rate of it. Why? Do you think it's just because Black women are not desirable to other men? Because if that's the case, then you shouldn't be suggesting that they go date men who don't desire them. Why do you think Black women are not already dating now in high rates?
I think it has to do with their loyalty to the Black man, but to the Black, not just say the Black man. I think it's more so the Black community, the Black women's loyalty to the Black community.
Black women are not out dating. Most Black women date Black men. So you had it right when you said the loyalty to the Black man. Now, how do you break that loyalty without talking to Black women about Black men?
Okay, I guess I just don't see it. I think sometimes they should be able to see the behavior of the Black man and just walk away.
Should be and do. What should happen and what is happening are two different things. So like there should not have been any enslavement. There should not be racism. We all should be
right.
We're not I know, but we're not. Right. And there's reasons why should it's not is.
You know what? I know this is kind of off topic, but this is, there's the guy, I know you probably know, the Nasheed guy, the Tariq Nasheed guy. In the past, he would discuss with Black men how they should travel overseas and look for, a different type of woman, or specifically, I guess he was trying to say a different type of Black woman overseas.
Indicating and now loyalty that Black women have somehow ignored or not seen, but
and he kind of convinced the young Black men to actually do that. But now I think he's kind of switched his talking point, and he's trying to promote more Black on Black love or whatever. But I guess people evolve, because I remember at one time you were so gung-ho on Black love, don't go towards the white people because that's going to ruin the Black community. And I just have to say,
I never said it's going to ruin the Black community.
Well, you said something about dilute maybe the Black race, or I don't know what. Yeah,
it does do that. Whether I'm for or against it, that is what you're doing. But
right.
Yeah, so that doesn't change. Mixing with anybody that's not Black dilutes your gene pool, but that doesn't change. So
yeah, but sometimes when I get cut off, I kind of lose my thought process. But so I called into your show like a few years ago, and I discussed with you how Black women should actually move on to another group of men, and you kind of I like to see where you're going now, but back then you kind of attacked me and said no, we should stay loyal.
What year was this? Tell me.
I don't know. It was a few years ago maybe, and I said, and you were telling me no, we should actually stay loyal to the Black man. That's what you were telling me.
Right. Okay.
I think. I know you've kind of changed your way of thinking, but I think sometimes when we give our advice to people instead of allowing people to see things for themselves, sometimes we can give bad advice to people. Sometimes, and then our viewpoint change, and it kind of confuses people. So what? I see your chat.
What is the point? What is the? Because I think they want you to land the plane.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that you in the past would tell Black women, even though Black men were still treating them the way that they were treating them today, you would constantly say to those Black women, you need to stay with Black men because you need to be loyal to them, because you were for loyalty to the Black community and to Black men, when Black men and Black women together. And now you're saying something totally opposite. And I don't know. I just think that's kind of confusing. Just like when Tariq did it too, it's kind of confusing to the Black community. So I think a lot of this, that's what I'm saying, a lot of this talk and trying to convince.
What is confusing to you? What is confusing? We're going to stop there. You said me changing my mind is confusing. Why don't you ask me what changed my mind?
Hi, Cynthia. What changed your viewpoint?
I saw that Black men are not loyal to Black women, and I'm not.
But when you were for them, they weren't loyal then.
Hey, I'm talking. I'm talking.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to tell Black women to continue to be loyal to someone that is not loyal to them. So even if they say they weren't loyal then, okay, I did not see that they were not loyal. Just like how I told you, Black women don't see that Black men are not loyal. So therefore, someone has to show them. The picture has to be painted to them. Do you see what I'm talking about now? Then, since
so in order to
example, we can use me as an example. I was not able to see their level of loyalty, disloyalty, and then I saw their level of disloyalty, and that changed my mind. Your mind should change at that point.
Because you changed your mind because someone was constantly pointing it out to you.
Regardless to what changed my mind was changed.
Okay.
Therefore, it was changed. I saw that they were not loyal. I saw they weren't loyal. Part of it was listening to other people. Part of it was doing research. Part of it was interacting with them myself. Because if you really know, when I came to YouTube, I was defending them. There was a reason why I was defending them, because I thought that white supremacy was the biggest issue. I bought into that whole narrative. White supremacy is making them do these things. I bought into that notion. I saw that was not the truth. I saw that wasn't the truth. Okay. I saw that I was defending a group of men who were attacking me. That's what I saw. And so I saw that there was a lack of loyalty there. And a smart person, when you see that someone is not loyal to you, you do not continue to be loyal to them.
You move on.
To defend them. Right. You change your mindset and you moved on. So I hope it doesn't make sense to you now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying needs to happen to Black women. Now, you're saying that we can do this without ever talking about Black men. How? Let me know how, and then I'll change my content.
Oh, I mean, you can just show how Black women are actually moving on and we're happier. Like, I mean, show some positive relationships with other men.
So what? Do a video with no sounds, just roll a bunch of pictures?
No, I'm just saying show Black women doing good without the Black men. I mean, dating other men and, show positive Black and non-Black, Black women and non-Black men together.
So there's not a lot of Black women who are dating out. So you're telling me to take a small minority population and use it to convince the majority of Black women. You're not going to get Black women to date white men or whatever men by showing them pictures of they've already seen it. They've seen Eve. They've seen Serena Williams. They've seen a number of different Black women with white men already. And they still have the lowest rate of interracial dating. They still have the lowest rate. That's not breaking their loyalty to Black men. In fact, what they'll do is they'll just go attack those Black women.
But do you think pointing it out has increased the rate of Black women moving on to be with other races of men, pointing out the discrepancies of Black men and how they're disrespecting Black women with,
I would hope so. Yes, I would love to hope so. Absolutely. I do.
So I think we just need to wait on those statistics, huh?
We do. And actually, some new statistics came out. The rate has increased.
Oh, it has. It hasn't increased, significantly,
absolutely. Or I wouldn't venture to say significantly. Let me tell you this. I'm going to do my part to help it increase.
Someone said I'm a pick me dust. What is a pick me dust? Jesus.
Who cares?
Some new words. But I know, who cares?
If you
yeah,
want to talk to the chat box, I can
no,
just.
I won't speak to the chat box. I just,
Or you can
yeah,
talk.
I'm trying to listen to what you're saying because I'm trying to move on, I'm trying to,
So let
well,
me
not
ask
really,
you
but
this. Let
I'm
me
just trying
ask
to
you this as an
understand.
example of how hard it is to get Black women to break their loyalty to Black men. You know what they've been doing. You are still up here advocating for them. Why? Why
Well,
haven't you seen what they're doing?
well, Cynthia, that's not true because I told
No,
you some
that is true. Hold on, it is true. You are up here advocating for them, defending
for Black
them.
men.
Well, why not? Why don't you just stop talking about Black men? Why don't we just leave Black
No,
men alone? Why
well,
are you still defending Black men despite you knowing
Can I say something, Cynthia? Cynthia, I told you I called into your show some of like maybe 2 years ago, and I explained to you that Black women should move on to another race.
You can't possibly expect me to remember one woman from a phone call over 2 years ago. You can't expect me to remember that.
I know I don't expect you. You're saying I'm
so
advocating for Black men. I'm not advocating for Black men. I'm telling you that I disagree with it. And I called into your show some years ago and I explained to you that I disagree with what you're saying, that Black women should stay with Black men. And I think they should actually move on.
Right,
I'm not advocating for them. I'm saying.
Hold on, I don't want to mute you.
Okay.
I don't want to have to mute you, but you can't talk over me. Then nobody can hear either one of us.
Okay.
So you are defending them. You are advocating for them right now. You are literally sitting up here trying to get me to stop talking about Black men. So you clearly are defending them because me talking about Black men, I think we both know it affects Black men negatively. Can we agree with that? They don't like Black men, don't like me talking about them. Can we agree with that?
I can't agree with you on that. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't think they really care, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, when you go get into reality, look at YouTube, then we'll talk. Right now, you're not in reality. They out here making all types of videos, whining, crying, and complaining about me talking about them. And you don't know that they have a problem with me talking.
Okay. I think what they're talking about is the fact. Go type
my name into YouTube and then go learn about how much they're crying and whining and then come back and tell me that they don't care.
I think what they were saying is that
you got a bandit out here.
Cynthia, let me just say it. I don't deal with bandits. I don't deal with besties. I don't deal with bandits.
Out here, girl, you got a whole bandit out here talking about he's going to take me to court and sue me, and you're sitting here saying they don't care.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I try not to venture.
Okay, bye. Okay, yeah, bye. Up here defend. The reality is that. The reason Black women aren't going to change their mindset is because of Black women like that, who want to come up here and convince you to just placate Black men, because that's what she wants. She wants you to stop talking about Black men because it placates Black men. I don't think I've talked to this lady at all. I think this lady is a Black male worshiper from another channel and I think she's probably in these Dusty Bandits chat boxes twerking for them all the time. And she came up here on the slide to defend them. And say, well, I think you should just stop talking about them. Well, why don't Black women just stop talking about them and move on? You sound like a dumb bitch. I want you to know that. You sound like a dumb bitch. That's what you sound like. And if you want to know why Black women are not quickly changing their mindset, study yourself. That's what I'm going to tell you should be doing. You know damn well I haven't talked to you 2 years ago. And even if I did, why would I remember you? Like, what would be so significant about you that I would just be like, oh, okay, I remember you talking to me 2 years ago. No, like, girl, bye. That was the first time you ever hit this line. Get the hell on with that. Out here with this foolishness. Just show them pictures. Like, girl. She said, just show them pictures of Black women with white men as if they can't just see that on the internet. Like, anybody, you click on your social media timeline, you can see that. Like, girl. I really wish a lot of these women were smarter, but they're not. She's going to keep pee-popping for bandits. That's what she'll keep doing. She'll keep doing it. Coming up here trying to defend, like, So you thought you were slick with your defensiveness, but you weren't. Yes, you were defending them. And you're defending them knowing they're not defending you, knowing they want to get their passport and go find anybody but you, knowing they don't like you, knowing they advocate for your disenfranchisement. You know everything that you need to know about Black men, and you still came up here to defend them. So girl, bye. Okay, let's put Jennifer back in the waiting room because her audio is not right. And we're going to take this next person on here. 50s is fabulous. I mean, you got to let one dust ball come up here at some point. I mean, it wouldn't be interesting if a bandit or a bandita doesn't come up here and engage in bandit behavior. So it's not going to, there was going to be some dust mixed into the realms of everything that's going on. There's just like, girl. I was trying to be as nice as I could. 50 is fabulous. How are you? 50s is fabulous. Okay, I'm going to have to boot you off. Did you take yourself off of mute? Are you talking? All right, we're going to put you back in the waiting room. And when you get it together, we'll get to you. When you guys come on here, you have to connect to the audio. If you don't connect to the audio, then you're not going to be able to talk. It seems like most people know that, but it seems like some people don't. Nicole?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for letting me call in. I'm glad I actually was able to reach you.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say that there's a lot of points I have with this. A lot of the people that called in before have shared the same points as me, so I'm just going to make it fast. I think women domestically in the U.S., white and black, of course, are keeping the game, and that's in large part thanks to Black women platforms like you. Like you said, I don't think this is going to last abroad for long with foreign women because I think they're going to catch on to you very quickly. Mm-hmm. Second, it's very financially feasible to make the dollar stretch abroad, especially due to the U.S. financial hegemony and influence. So any black male with a little bit of chump change can appear high value because the dollar can stretch very far in places like Southeast Asia and Latin America, Eastern Europe. But the thing you notice with these black males is that largely when they're promoting this passport bro thing, they're not really going for women of African descent.
No, they're not. Well, they can't, because how do you leverage another group of black women? You can't weaponize black women against black women, not in the way that they're trying to. So in order for it to really look like weaponization, it has to be a non-black woman. It has to. They can never, first of all, they're too self-hating and trying to escape their own blackness. So they're not going to go to another black country to get something that they don't love. That's number one. But secondly, you can't weaponize one black woman over another black woman as a means of saying act right, or I'm just going to get foreign black women. That wouldn't work. They no. Right. If Becky didn't work, this ain't gonna work either.
Not most of East African women a lot of the time, which they use colorism and texturism as a weapon with those women. But because a lot of these foreign women in places like Southeast Asia, Latin America are protected in their societies, it's more likely that they're going to be naive as regarding black males' nature. Oftentimes, their beta male nature. Third point for me, I think a lot of it just has to do with sexual deviancy. A lot of these black males going abroad are sexual deviants. I think that they carry an internalized buck breeder mentality and the sexual promiscuity and irresponsibility that has been internalized from slavery. This is just my theory, but I think that a lot of the dysfunctional behaviors we see in black males all really root back to slavery. And I've come up with a theory actually about why black men like to call non-black women exotic, but will
Right,
oftentimes
but we don't have time for that theory because the clock just went off. So that was the alarm for the time that it takes before we move on. But the reality of it is they can't. It was barely successful with them weaponizing women of no color, and largely social media took the wind out of those sails. And now it's up to us as content creators who recognize the pattern and who have large platforms to spread the word that this is Becky 2.0, period.
right. Can I just get a final word? I mean, I know you don't have time to hear a whole theory out. I just think it's that since black men before they were unable to protect and gatekeep or safeguard their lineage, but I think now that they've been conditioned to choose women outside of their own women and to prioritize white and non-black women over their own, I think now black men are choosing to freely just give away their lineage, because we all know that they don't preserve their family lines like other groups of men
What
do.
is their lineage anyway? Like, what is black men's lineage?
Even if nothing else, like having a proud heritage, I think it's just their seed anyway. I mean, I'm not exactly sure to what extent these passport bros don't find black women physically attractive, or if it's just that they say black women allegedly don't have certain qualities.
Do you care whether black men think you're physically attractive or not?
I mean, personally, me, no, because I have a different idea of what I think constitutes a real man, physically and spiritually, and most black males I come across don't have those qualities, so no.
Right. I think black women should be past the point of trying to figure out why they're doing this or why they're doing that. They're doing it as an attempt to control your behavior. The same reason they used Becky and said they were going to go to Becky, and then they set up there and turned her a single mother. And once Becky started talking about, oh, we got the same black man, and their children start talking about the dynamic within the home, now all of a sudden they passport bros. And they got to go across the country to get these new women. It's the same thing. They're doing it to control your behavior, to get you to fight over access to them. This is why they're so mad at that Filipino woman, because that's what they want to happen. They want more of those women to get in videos and go after you so that they can appear to be more desirable, because now they have multiple groups of women fighting over them. They're nothing to fight over. They're nothing to fight over. And there shouldn't be a black woman on this planet willing to fight over a bandit. You're not winning anything. You will not win anything. If they want them, let them have them.
I say it's like if you give a mouse a cookie, you know the book, if you give a Dusty a passport.
Most of them can't even afford a passport, so it's not going to be a large or a long movement. It just is what it is, because the majority of them ain't got the money anyway. But I'm about to get to another caller. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. Glad I could come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all, this is about controlling and manipulating your behavior. That's what this is about. They're like, oh, okay, so you want to sit up here, you want to get some standards. Now you want me to be a provider. You want me to be nice to you. I got to be respectful. The fact that you even considering getting some standards. Okay, well, now I can't use Becky no more. So now I'm going to tell you I'm going to get my raggedy passport and go get some of these foreign women. Who cares? Who cares who they go get? It does not matter who they go get. The outcome will be the same. They can get a Filipina, they can get a green Martian, they can get a plant, a tree, a dog, a cat. The outcome is going to be the same. They're going to get the same black man. I don't want y'all to fall prey to the same type of manipulation that you've been falling prey to before. There is nothing here to see with these passport bandits except more manipulation and more weaponization of access to now foreign economically disenfranchised women as a means. This is how desperate they are. This is why I say they are obsessed with you. They are so obsessed with you that they keep going from demographic of women to demographic of women to try to use her to get you to acquiesce to them. That is what they're trying to do. This is a ploy to try to get you to submit or try to see some false value in them that's not there. There's no value there. There is no value. You're not missing anything. They cannot withdraw from you what they are not already providing. So the only thing that they can take away from you is their presence. It's really just that simple. And you as a Black woman have to be willing to give them the power to influence anything, even your opinion. Like, you have to give them power in order for them to have it. They have no leverage to have power over you at all. And what they're doing is weaponizing your loyalty and desire for them against you. That's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, well, some Black women still want us because y'all all on the internet talking about going to white school and taking femininity classes. So let me go over here and weaponize these access to these women. And the thing of it is the women that they want don't care. The women that they want don't care whether they come or go. You going to a foreign woman is not going to make the woman that you desire you. She thought you was dusty then, and she still thinks you're dusty. You're not doing anything. Like, you're not going to impress a woman that you find desirable, and you're not going to manipulate her into dating you by you going and getting some dirty feet, no stove having throwbacks in another country. Like, what do you think you're doing? This is like child's play at this point. This is a temper tantrum from some bandit toddlers who are doing everything they can to try to get you to give them what they want. Who cares, bandit? Go as far and as wide as you want to. I know I don't care. Let me hold the door open for you. Okay? Because you don't provide nothing anyway. Like, what would we miss if you just weren't here? What? And I think if more Black women had that attitude, then they wouldn't be sitting up here even waving their passports in your face. It's like, you better keep your raggedy passport over there, bandit. I've been having a passport for the longest time. It really ain't that hard to get one. You haven't accomplished anything. In fact, you late to the party. It's like these bandits really need to catch up. And it took you way too long to find out that Becky was the original modern woman and always been a modern woman. Y'all are slow. They're slow. Like, that's the thing. And then they want to send their little dusty banditas over here and think we don't know. I know that bandita, I know she was sent over here. You think I don't know she was sent over here in place of some cowardly bandit who don't got the balls to come over here and say what he want to say? So you sent your little black man worshiping minion over here. This is why I don't respect you. This is why I think you a nothing ass bitch. And this is why I'm going to drill you every single minute I get a chance to. I'm going to keep talking about your pathology. I don't care about your little raggedy lawsuit. I ain't being served by nobody, if y'all want to know. Ain't no lawsuit unless somebody is served, and I ain't being served. Furthermore, the person who talking about lawsuits, last I checked, I was on a panel with you. You didn't even know the criteria for defamation and slander. You can't get nobody for defamation and slander by what's backed by data. And this is how I know this cannot be a practicing attorney. It cannot be. Y'all stop telling me about what dusty bandits are doing, okay? Somebody done set up here and sent me a video, and the thumbnail was some fake little drawn up lawsuit. If ain't nobody been served, ain't no lawsuit. You can't sue somebody based on data, dummies. Hey, Mama Kush.
Hey, can you hear me?
I'm here. Yeah, I can.
Oh, good. Let me turn off my vent. Sorry about my voice, y'all. I've been a little under the weather. But I wanted to add on to the answer of the question, what happened to Becky? Mm-hmm. And one thing that I've seen globally is that Black men really, truly feel as though that their mandingo dingo and their Black skin, their melanin is equivalent to white men's global economic and political power. And they really feel as though if they could just give a woman some good dingo, that she will submit to him and treat him as though he has the same kind of power as a white man. And they really do lead with this. They think that this is enough. And then when they gave it to Becky, and Becky was like, well, that was fun, but I need a roof over my head and our children need diapers. They're like, oh, you're asking me to be like a white man. You're asking me to protect and provide like a white man. How can I pull myself up by my bootstraps when white men took my boots? And so that's why they're going to third world countries, because they're like, oh, these women, they can probably barely read. They won't know that I'm not capable of providing like other men. They will be stigmatized, and that will be enough. And they'll submit to me because of my dingo. And I really think that it's the ding.
I don't even think it's that deep. I think most of them know they can barely afford the flight that it would take to get out of the country, and they damn sure can't afford a wife, nor do they want the responsibility of a wife. Listen, if these bandits really wanted the responsibility of a wife, they wouldn't have the lowest marriage rate in the country of all people. So I don't really think it's really about that. Of course, they want to be able to do things that men of no color are doing, but what they don't want is the responsibility of an actual family. What they want to do is waive their passports and sex tourism in your face so that you can get mad and you will be willing to fight over them. And I don't want Black women doing that. You better not argue with one of these struggle preferences on any platform over a bandit. Tell her to keep them. There was a woman of no color on something, and I got on TikTok and specifically told her, get as many of your girlfriends as you can and come pick up these bandits and they 3 trash bags out of our community, please.
But when they go to these foreign countries, I think they really hope that they can dingo a woman to the point where she's like, you know what, you can stay here with me. I'll take care of you. They go there and hope that these women will take them in as they hoped we would.
But they don't have to hope a Black woman will take them in. Most Black women will, but I just don't think it's about that. I don't, and probably because I know that what they're trying to do costs money. Even if they want to go live in another country, you can't just take your American passport and go live with another person in a country. So whether they want to live abroad or whether they want to come over here and bring somebody here, it costs money. So please understand that that's not what they're doing. They don't have the money to do that. You have to think about what's within their economic means. What's within their economic means is sex tourism. That's what's within their economic means. But a wife moving abroad and being the family, no, they can't even afford. They cannot afford to do that, and they don't desire to do that. This is another way to manipulate Black women because they know there's a message out to Black women to get some standards, boundaries, and expectations. They don't respect boundaries. They can't live up to expectations, and they damn sure ain't gonna meet nobody's standards. It just is what it is. They don't want to work on themselves. So this is their means of saying, okay, well, if you won't take me, she will. And my question is, you said Becky was gonna take you too.
But and this is definitely in agreement. Everything that you're saying is absolutely correct. But there is, and maybe you can help me figure this out. But there's also this thing where they really have a fetish for creating these bastard children.
And leaving them all over the place. Yeah, they do.
They do it everywhere. I've got an Indonesian friend that's got a half Black baby, and that's been really, really difficult for her. So it's like, it is to tantrum us, to be a tantrum against us, but there's also this fetishization, this really actual fantasy of spreading their seed around, being able to quote unquote, this is as close as they're going to get to conquering.
Yeah, and they're not conquering anything. They think that they're doing what men of no color get to do. So I do agree with that part. When they have this perception that men of no color just went around creating all of these single mothers, and no, that theirs was colonization.
Yes,
colonization is something completely different than you being broke and dusty and going and doing sex tourism and then thinking you're special because you get to lay down with different races of women. Black men have yet to colonize anything, and they
No.
won't colonize anything because they don't have the mind. They don't even know what
They don't have
colonization
it.
is. But I think you're right.
They don't have the mental and emotional, they don't have the strategy.
No, they don't. They don't know what true colonization is. They
Right.
just they think men of no color having sexual access to all of these women was some. But no,
Right.
you have to dominate those men first.
Yes.
First, you need to dominate those men. Then you get to do all that. The
But-
men right
and
now don't
as-
care, and when they do, they just go toe tag you.
And as you said 100 times, that they don't want to compete with men because they know that they can't. They know that they cannot compete with men. The only way they can get in anywhere is through a woman. And that is what they really believe they're doing. They believe that if I can just get in with these women, I can do something. And then they get there 2 weeks, they've given the dingo 2 weeks later, they don't have enough money to stay. They've got to hang their head low and come on back home. And that's it. That is the extent of their expertise. That is the extent of their power. It is just dingo, and it's not enough. It never will be enough. And that is all they've got.
Yeah, this is going to end very badly for them because they're trying to basically get the spoils of conquering and colonization without actually colonizing first.
Yes.
So what they're going to do is, because they haven't dominated those men, once they become a problem for those men in their community, the men are just going to toe tag them. Either beat the brakes off of them and kick them out the country, or just completely toe tag them, because they seem to think they want to engage in this sexual colonization, and that doesn't, you running around and having like pointless, meaningless sex with foreign women does nothing for you, because now, okay, look, you got the man to deal with.
For the instant gratification, which I have noticed is a very serious problem with Black men. They do not care about the long-term gratification, the generational, benefit to their actions. All they care about is the instant gratification. That nut that they're busting right now is all that is on their mind.
Yep, it is. But I need to grab a couple more. I need to grab a couple more calls. I only have a few minutes. I'm getting off.
Thanks for letting me call in.
30 after the hour. Thank you, Mama Kush. I appreciate it.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm going to try to get you up again, Josiane. So hold on for a second. Let me try to get Josiane again, because you've been trying to get in here. And you're back in the rotation, so let me see if we can get you. Yeah, but because these bandits don't have any foresight, they're not thinking about what's going to happen when we now need to be accountable to these males. Once we've come into these males community and have been a complete and utter burden, how are these males now going to react? Because they want to engage and they want to play colonizer. And you're not playing, you're not doing anything because you haven't dominated no men yet. Hey, Josiane.
Oh, how are you?
Hi.
Sorry for the connection the other time. So, actually, I wrote my points. So I would like to thank Mama Kush, because she actually, got a lot of my talking points down. I believe when it comes to the passport bros, I feel like there is like a disconnect between what they're looking for when it comes to, going out to these foreign countries and expecting Black women to acquiesce, like you were saying. And I do believe like there is a specific spirit amongst Black men that is permeating the whole community and is actually affecting the next generation. Another thing I also wanted to point out is that you also mentioned this multiple times, that these passport bros, they want to have their cake and eat it too type of mentality, where they want Black women to be subservient, but then they also want to they don't want to bear the responsibility of being a faithful husband in a monogamous relationship.
They don't.
And then the third thing I also realized is that they just want to dominate women. And not in a sense okay, we live in a patriarchy, but they want to dominate women in a sense that, okay, especially Black women, in the sense that they don't want Black women to have access, and they don't want to commit to Black women either. So they just literally want Black women to live in dust and just in limbo, when they don't want to commit, and then they don't want Black women to have access as well. It's kind of weird, but, and then the other thing is, I realized that Black men don't keep other men accountable in our community. And I find that to be very, very problematic because, people say, oh, I'm the good Black man, but you're not holding these passport bros accountable for degrading Black women essentially. And, like these quote unquote good Black men, I don't know where they are, but they're probably hibernating somewhere in the world, but it's not, the math is not mathing. And the last thing I wanted to say is that I think ultimately Black men are jealous of Black women. They see that Black women are not paying them any mind. They see that Black women are, not needing them as a necessity. They're actually, depending on like other women or themselves, and they're just doing better without them. And I feel like, those are my points.
Yeah, no, I think that this is a way for them to try to put Black women back in their place, because you have more Black women talking about upgrading, leveling up. You have Black women being encouraged to seek other groups of men. It's no coincidence that they ramped up this whole Dusty Passport Bandit movement right in the midst of Black women talking to other Black women about elevating and seeking other options and just doing better for themselves and coming to the realization of how much better Black women are without them. I think this is just a means of trying to put Black women back in their place and say, well, I'm going to go get these other women. And I say, call their bluff.
Yep.
Call their bluff.
Yep.
If you want to go ahead, okay? Because you said you was going to Becky. Where is the new Black community that y'all created? Because they were on here talking about they're going to link up with Becky, create these biracial children, and create this new neighborhood. Wasn't the bandit just saying that on some kind of thing to get another group of women and do a better community? Yeah, but y'all said y'all were going to do that with Becky. So what happened to your community with Becky? I just want to know that. And I noticed that there's not a lot of Black men who are calling in. There has only been one male that's called in, but y'all know y'all was sitting up talking about starting new communities with women of no color and your biracial children, but you ain't pointed out this successful community though. Now, there is a community of Beckisha's on welfare, single mothers to biracial children, but there's not a better community established where you're actually in it, upholding your role as a man is supposed to do. So where is that community? I didn't think there was one. But all right, Josiane, I'm going to grab somebody else. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, but it's like they said a lot of stuff and I'm not willing to let them just get away with it. Like, I'm not going to give you a pass, bandits, to sit up here and uplift Becky and talk about you go create better communities and your biracial kids are better and you doing this, that, and the third, replacing the Black woman, and you ain't doing it now. Again, and I ain't saying that you can't replace us. I'm saying do it. Do it already. Yeah, well, why ain't you done it? Show it. Where's the community? A community full of single mothers and confused biracial children isn't adding anything positive to anything. You still ain't got no communities. You still nesting in men of no colors. And now you want to fly across the country to third world countries and nest in some dilapidated communities. So you're not even going to build up the communities over there. You just going to go drop a seed of dust off. Just how disgusting and weird of y'all. Like, y'all are just weirdos. Like, for real, these are some weirdo struggle bandits. Y'all really need to be sitting up in front of psychiatrists, not hopping on planes. That's what you should be doing. Take that $130 and get on BetterHelp or something. Like, for real, y'all need some real deal psychiatric help here. You just set up for a good 10, 20 years talking about more than that, really. It's really more than that, but I'm just giving it 2 decades. But you've definitely been sitting up for at least 3 decades talking about Becky is the best, Becky the better woman. She's every Black man's fantasy. You go make these better communities with Becky. She feminine, she fit, she friendly, she make you feel like a man. Where is the evidence of that? Why do you now need to go to third world countries when you don't have Becky? You fought for Becky in this country. It doesn't make any sense. These are the women you went to the Supreme Court on numerous occasions. You could not let them anti-miscegenation laws stay there. Black men would not allow them anti-miscegenation laws to stay. So they jumped off the plantation right into Jim Crow, started slumming with throwbacks, fought the Supreme Court, took some losses, some wins, told Black women that these women are better. No, love is love. Let us date whoever we want to. We just want to be over here with these women. And now you're flying across the country. Now you're going out to third world countries. What? They're never happy. They weren't happy when they didn't have access to Becky, and now they had access to Becky and she ain't even enough for them. Now they got to go fly across the country to third world countries. You would never be able to please these struggle bandits anyway, Black women. Hold on, y'all, I got a cough. You could give them access, and they do have access to all of the women on the planet, and they will still be dusty. They will still be degenerate. They will still be unhappy. They will still be engaging in clownship. They'll still be creating single mothers. They still ain't gonna have no money. They still gonna be costing the government $50 billion. Ain't nothing you go do that is going to upgrade these bandits because they refuse to work on themselves. Please do understand that. This is the last call, and it's for Deborah, because I really do got to jump off of here. But like these bandits, all they do is complain. I wonder what Becky think now that she ain't the preference no more. Hey, Deborah. And do Becky even know she's no longer the preference? I want to know well, they're saying that now Becky is mad because they got their passports. Of course, everybody mad now. They ain't left, but everybody mad because they ain't leaving. They never actually make it to leaving, but somehow everybody's mad that they're leaving. Do Becky even know that she's been replaced by the passport? Hey, Deborah. Okay, Deborah. Okay, I'm gonna go get somebody else. We'll put you in a waiting room, let you get it together. We'll see what Moo got going on. But these bandits stay complaining, and watch them start complaining about their preference overseas too. Oh yeah, that Dusty Austin Hollerman was in a video complaining already. It's already starting. It's all just the weakest group of like bandits. Hey, Moo.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, Cynthia.
Hi.
I'm calling to just add into the conversation. Sorry, I was on the phone with my mom, literally just having a deep talk before you called. But yes, I just wanted to add in. I feel like they're not praising the Beckys anymore because they found a new way to garner our attention as far as women getting their passport and dating women outside of the country. They know that, like, bragging about the Beckys, it got kind of played out. We already put our 2 cents on it, and we already were on TikTok and said what we said, and now it's like, oh, we can get their attention by saying, but get your passport, bros, get your passport. We can move on to something more better and exotic than a white woman. And I feel like they it's just a money grab. Everything's just a money grab. A lame could get on the podcast and just say anything that they think that could get a reaction out of Black women to get money at this point. Like, everything's just a money grab. It even seems like they're just baiting at this point. Like, just even by things on TikTok, it just seems all like bait to get us to talk. And I feel like we do have the right to talk, because if you guys think you're going to make money off us, we should also be making money off you. But we also, as women, should not give them too much attention as far as like engaging with it, like giving them commentary on their stuff on their page on TikTok. Like, we should just be speaking on it on our own platforms, but not giving them our very much attention and dollar, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the truth too, because look, nobody else cares whether they get their passports. The only people who would even begin to care whether they got their passport and stayed or left, which I hope they just leave, would be Black women. So if they're doing this loudly and publicly, they are doing it for Black women. This is about you. Just like when they set up in videos and we're supposed to be talking about what they like about Becky, but has just been talking about you the whole time. That, like, seriously, that's what it is now. And I wish Black women would see this for what it is, which is Becky 2.0. This is swirling 2.0, where they're going to just, and now they just got to fly across the country because they're such losers. They're so pathetic that they've exhausted all of their options here. It took them 3 whole decades and counting to figure out Becky was a modern woman, but whatever. They finally found it out, turned her into a single mother, realized that she was going to have some expectations too. And now they want to take them passports and go to another different group of women. And they just want you to know, Black women, they want you to know so that you will think you're missing something and you're not.
Absolutely not missing a thing at all. They just want our attention. They want our feedback. I don't know why. If y'all don't care about us so much, why do you want our feedback? And I know they want our feedback because they're never talking about, hey, when I go to their culture, their family welcomes me with both arms. I'm not being racially profiled when I'm going into the stores. They're not treating me the way I'm getting treated in America. You guys just want our feedback. You want this, you want the money grab, you want likes, you want the clicks. Why aren't you telling us that your lifestyle changes when you go to another country and you're dating a woman? They passed the law for Asian hate, and you want to go to Asia and they didn't even pass a law for Black hate, but you're happy to go to Asia and date those women? Child, please stop playing in my face. Please stop playing in my face.
All of it is playing in Black women's face. And unfortunately, like, I'm not dense enough to think that Black women aren't paying attention to this. Black women are. And once again, Black women are falling for the okie doke. Like, that's the thing. There are a sector of Black women who aren't falling for the okie doke, but a lot of Black women are falling for the okie doke. And I just want y'all, whenever they talk about getting their passports and going to other countries, just kindly ask them what happened to Becky. What happened to that new, better Black community that you were supposed to be creating with Becky? What happened to where now you got to go get your passport to go overseas and pay these women to even give you attention? What happened? I would really like to know. Did Becky strike out with you, or did you strike out with Becky? What happened? I would really love to know what happened with Becky and why you ain't got access to her. And please trust and believe, even though I have to go now. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't get everybody on there. I told y'all there was a lot of people. I should limit the people who can come on because we still got a whole waiting room full of people. But I told y'all that they would, I already told y'all what they do. And this is just another part of what they do. They go from demographic to demographic, trying to weaponize certain things against you. If it's not some doomsday scenario or welfare being taken away, it's going to be another group of women. They are obsessed with you. This is pathetic. They can't just move on. They've been saying they're moving on, but they never have. Are y'all actually going to ever move on from Black women, or are you going to keep obsessing over the very women? Like, why are you whining and crying in videos talking about my content is dangerous? And I'm talking to some Black women that you don't even want. So these are the Black women that you don't want. You don't like them. They too masculine. They too uncooperative. They way too much. They too manly. But you sitting up whining and crying and complaining because of what I'm saying to them. Why do you care? There should not be a bandit that gives a damn about anything that I say on my platform because I'm talking to women that you don't want. You have other options. You have options out of the country. Becky was an option. So why do you care about what I say to a group of women who are not even an option for you? You don't even want them. You don't like them. You think they're too loud and too annoying. So why do you care if I talk to them or not? Why do you care if I tell them that you're the one that's the loud and the annoying one? You the one with the nasty attitude. You're the one that can't make a relationship work with no group of women. You're broke. You're dusty. You're dependent on another man. You're expendable. You got crust in your eyes and skid marks in your drawers. You can't even afford the passport that you're bragging about. If you do go out of the country, you will get stuck. You turn Becky into a single mother, Maria and Ling Ling too, and now none of these women want you. They're the problem. And that's what they have an issue with. The reason they have a problem is because I'm telling you that you are not the problem. They are the problem. And that's why they keep bouncing from demographic of women to demographic of women, because they keep striking out. And these women keep finding out, oh, these are the same struggle bandits that I've been getting. Then foreign women, they will find that out too. It's not going to take them that long though. It's not going to take them that long to figure out they're getting the same struggle bandits. And rather than these struggle bandits just fixing themselves and becoming more suitable mates and desirable males, they're sitting up here trying to manipulate you. You ain't got nothing to manipulate nobody with. Who cares? Take your raggedy passport and get lost. We busy anyway. We too busy becoming the entrepreneurs. We're too busy trying to fix our credit. We're too busy building communities while you're sitting in here in the lap of failure. We're trying to make it so that we can sit in the lap of luxury. While you over here creating single mothers and baby mamas, we over here lowering the rate that we're getting pregnant. Because our birth rate done dropped too, and they need to drop some more. It just is what it is. They're a burden to you. And I don't care how many different women sit up here and talk about Black love and, oh, they went to the okay, let me push some more of them away. I'm trying to push as many of these bandits away as I can. If y'all haven't known yet, yes, I am here to divide. I'm not here to unify Black women with any struggle bandit. I am trying to cause as much division as I possibly can, because you needed to be divided. You needed to be separated from these struggle bandits who have nothing to offer to you. They are leeches. They are like blood-sucking leeches who are feeding off you, and they've been feeding off of you. You do not need to open your womb to them. Don't open your wallet. Don't open your legs if you don't want to. Close. Shut it down. You have the power to shut it down. They can't shut shit down but they mouth, and they keep running it. Full of dick, but they still manage to keep running it. Okay, they run nothing but their mouths. That's the only thing they run. They don't even run the platform that they sitting up on complaining like some bitches. You don't even run that either. Because if at any point YouTube choose to kick you off, or Instagram, you're going to be whining and crying just like Bootsy was doing and begging to get back on the planet, because you don't run that either. You run your raggedy ass mouth and that's it. And I don't know if you noticed yet, but ain't nobody scared or intimidated by you. Ain't nobody over here worried about you. You bandits are sitting up there thinking I'm worried about what a bandit got to say. Please. Okay? I don't give a damn about what no bandit sitting up there talking about. You don't scare me. You don't intimidate me. I already understand you're nothing as bitch status in society, and it ain't gonna change because you ain't gonna change it. You don't have the balls to change it. If you could have changed it, you would have been changed it. Instead, you want to go cower away and nest under another woman. You're pathetic to me. And I want y'all to understand that. You're pathetic. I don't see manhood here. I see pussy. That's what I see. A bunch of cowardly, neuter, castrated bucks trying to cling to something to manipulate a group of women who don't care about what you got to say no more. No one cares. Your days of manipulation is over. They're numbered. Take your little passport, book a flight on Spirit Airlines and get lost, bitch. Okay? I'll see y'all in the next video. I gotta go I gotta get back to my cleaning. Bye, dusty passport bandit bitches. I hope to not see you no time soon. Get lost. We busy. Bye.